Hello, I'm Austin from Sisters Doll.
I'm Bryce from Sisters Doll.
And I'm Brennan from Sisters Doll, and you are listening to Shout It Out Loudcast with Tom and Zeus.
Let's go.
Rock and roll.
Turn it up.
Fuck you.
Oh, boy. Here we go. This is Gene Simmons. Put that cookie down. Kiss. Stop pressing the button. Stockbroker Simmons. Star? Paul Stanley. Is that what he does? Stop shouting. He's not what you would call a handsome man. Oh, no. Here come the kiss times. Is that a positive thing? Okay. All right. I'm going to grab me an ice cold mellow. Why? Why do that to the fan? Stop it. Why? Because fuck them. That's wrong. What are you talking about? 617-525-0850. You do? Hey, fucko. Do you like Kiss? Settle down.
Hello. Hey, what's up there, Kiss Army? Tom and Zeus with another episode of Shout It Out Loudcast. Episode 201. Peter Criss, 1978 solo album. Tom, don't let me find you sleeping with another man.
What a way to follow up our 200th with Eddie Trunk. Now, I'm going to let people in on a secret. Little secret here.
Hey,
if all of our plans for our 200th episode were not able to take place due to scheduling conflicts, or if anything, we were seriously, in Shout It Out Loudcast fashion, going to celebrate 200 episodes with the Peter Criss solo album review. So you guys can thank Eddie Trunk for being available and saving you from that. Although now you're here.
Yeah, I don't think it's a goof. I think they would think it was a goof.
That's my point. Me and you, dude. Me and you, this is going to be an interesting episode because I think the two of us are outliers big time with this. So
yeah, and I'm prepared to just be like, you're not listening. You're not listening to it.
Right.
You're not. You just have your mind made up. Oh, it sucks. Disco. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, shut up. Anyways, on that happy note, Tom, before we go forward, we go backwards. But before we do any of that, we give a shout out. And who do we give a shout out to?
Yeah, ABCPA Inc.
Our buddy, Tony Barone, the tax man.
Okay, he's the good kind of tax man.
Yeah, it's a positive thing.
Okay.
So Tony runs ABCPA Inc. It's been our sponsor, and we want you, the listener, to give him a shout. So if you have a business, he can help you with all your bookkeeping, financial statements, payroll processing, payroll tax returns, sales tax returns, filing your federal and state income tax returns, and help with starting your new business. We've been saying this all along. The new year's coming. People start new businesses. Don't fall behind. Get ahead of it. Talk to a tax person like Tony so he can get you prepared. For individuals, he offers help with sole proprietorship, rental real estate, trust estate tax returns, and filing personal federal and state income tax returns. He has access in 50 states, Tom. So whether you are in Utah or Tennessee, I've been, whatever that song goes.
Arrested Development, future ARC album.
Yeah. Did you know, Kiss Army, if you own a business with employees that have had 20% reduction in revenue than you did in 2019 due to COVID or state mandated shutdowns, you might be entitled to additional tax credits. And the opener of last week's show, what does he say about tax credits, Tom? Ooh, I like it. Follow him on Facebook, LinkedIn, and visit him on his website, abcpainc.com. That's abcpainc.com. Or you can email Tony at abcpa abcpainc.com. That's Tony at abcpainc.com. Or you can call him at 708-430-3232. Again, 708-430-3232.
Yeah, ABCPA Inc.
Give Tony Barone a call. Set yourself up. Be prepared. So, Tom, last week we celebrated our 200th episode with a one-of-a-kind fun in I don't know, one of the best conversations we've ever had, if not the best conversation we've ever had on Shout Out Loudcast with the one and only Eddie Trunk.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of feedback. We did a poll. How'd that go?
Yep. So the poll was based on one of the questions that we asked Eddie and that we discussed, and we talked about blocks of albums, makeup albums. So we put it out there, the 4 groups: Debut, Harder Than Hell, Dress to Kill, Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun, Dynasty, Unmasked, Music from the Elder, Creatures of the Night, and then finally Psycho Circus, Sonic Boom, and Monster. I'm not going to say I'm surprised that this won. I'm surprised by how big it won, but I think it won on the backs of Destroyer. So the Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun, 65% of the vote. That's huge. That's that's a blowout. Yeah. Right behind that at 18% was the Debut, Harder Than Hell, Dress to Kill. Coming in at 14% was Dynasty, Unmasked, Elder, Creatures of the Night. And then 3% of you need to have your head examined because you voted for Psycho Circus, Sonic Boom, and Monster. So let's take a look at a couple comments here, because I know a lot of people were passionate about this. Speaking of Psycho Circus, Sonic Boom, and Monster, our buddy Christopher the Wallet Hake chimes in and says, if someone votes for Psycho Circus, Sonic Boom, and Monster, they need a psych evaluation. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? There you go. Couldn't said it better myself. Egg Hog says, I went head over heart with this one, and I chose the Destroyer group. It's hard to argue with those songs and the production, but I love the messy Elder crew. The lows are low on those albums, but the highs fucking rule. That's a good way to say it. Todd Steele says, my era is the first group of albums. Everything from these albums were the stepping stones for what was to come. Oh, and then our favorite Miserable Music Man chimes in. Anyone voting for that last group needs to be taken outside and beaten with a shoe. A la Mike Milbury. All right. Let's get into some episode-specific comments, because that was obviously related to the poll. A lot of feedback. We love you guys so much for all the positive feedback. You guys really enjoyed the episode. Obviously, we enjoyed doing it, of course. Let's bang through a couple of these. Clark Side of the Moon. Congrats, guys. Just finished the episode. Every time I think you've done the best episode, you knock another one out of the park. Great, honest conversation. Kudos to you two and to Eddie for the honest discussion, rankings, and more. 200 is just the beginning. Our buddy Jepson. Congrats. Oh yeah. Congrats on 200. It's been an amazing adventure with you guys, and the laughs never stop. Thanks for all the hard work. It paid off. #1 Kiss podcast. Real proud of you. Yeah, we love Kevin. Speaking of loving Kevin, we love this guy, the great Jim Riley. Congrats, Tom and Zeus. Episode 200 was great. Eddie was my hard rock source in the 80s at WDHA, New Jersey, 10 minutes from where I grew up. To have you guys and Eddie talk Kiss in 2022 for me is wild. And yeah, with the Gene intro. Thanks for all you do for us. God bless, brothers. Yeah, speaking of, thank you guys again. Tons of great feedback on that incredible intro from Gene. No, that was not a cameo. Somebody said, how much was the cameo? No, Gene doesn't do cameos. That was not a cameo. Yeah. But yeah, tons of great feedback. So there's some Twitter stuff, because we know that we want to get through feedback so we can talk about love. It's an easy thing.
Banjo LeBlade just found you guys and overdosing as we speak. Amazing show, and find myself nodding along furiously. Alive 3 rocks. Creatures is the best, as are the Brucius. Kiss debut, one of the greatest albums ever too. Geez, going to be a lot of listening to. Ace impressions make me giggle like a schoolgirl too. Thank you.
Yeah, Eddie jumped in with his Ace impressions too, so that was nice.
Yeah. Our buddy Graham Richley. Fantastic and fitting 200th episode. I really warmed to Eddie. He's a class act, opinionated, and articulate. Congratulations, guys, on the first 200. I'll never forget the day I stumbled over one of your early episodes and Zeus read out a listener comment, Detroit Rock City by a cunt hair. I knew I found my guys. I don't think that was me. I would just read it.
Yeah, we don't really use that word.
Ryan, Michael Scott, Spencer Cook, Dole, Kulick, Simmons, fucking whatever. Fantastic episode. Paul Hader, great episode. I giggled like a Japanese schoolgirl.
What?
All the way through it. Zeus's delight at Eddie's placement of Love Gun and Tom's dismay, which I get, as the album has always been my number one Kiss album. The Ace story, too. Hilarious. I'm telling you, boys, you are truly on an arc towards having Ace, Peter, or maybe even Gene on this podcast. Paul, not a chance. Again, big congrats on the milestone. Love you both. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Paul. God, even need to do that one. God bless you, Paul.
Fuck you. Fuck me. What does Japanese schoolgirl have anything to do with anything?
Fuck me, that was fast. Fuck me. Fuck you. Sorry. All right, let's go over to Loudcasters.
Anytime we can find a way to get that into the show.
Oh, fuck me. Fuck me, that was fast. The Taxman, Anthony Barone.
Yeah.
One of the best episodes. Our buddy Sean DeHaan. Sean, I hope you get well. He sent us a message. He was having a little bit of a health issue there. We wish you well, my friend. Great episode. Congratulations, guys. Says it all.
Yeah, Sean, best wishes to you, buddy. Stay healthy, okay? We're thinking about you. Keep listening, but we're thinking of you and hoping for the best. Take care of yourself.
Wish you luck in the future. Say a prayer. Okay, see you later, fruitcake.
God bless you, babe.
Our buddy Jack Pinocchio. Congratulations, guys. Honestly, very well deserved. To the question of the week, would I see Kiss with 4 new members? I'd have to say no. At that point, it's a cover tribute band. And if that's the case, I'd rather see Scott in Kissteria.
Ooh, there you go. All right, yeah. Buddy Scott.
Drop.
Yeah, buddy Scott Donaldson, Australia's cover band Kissteria, and he's the fox in that as the drummer.
Yeah. Make sure if you're down under.
Oh, boy.
To go catch Kissteria.
Definitely.
Because I know I'd enjoy them more, says Jack. Jack, we love you, brother.
Yep.
Next, let's go over a quick hop, skip, and a jump over to Instagram, where our buddy Nicolino says, happy 200th, boy. Michael TTI, or perhaps it's Tit, I don't know. Already waiting for the 300th episode. And KCV Rocks 2022 says, cool. Okay. Let's go to, hey, Tom, for the first 200 episodes, I did this. What do you say for the next 200, I don't do it?
I support that.
All right. Let's go over to YouTube. If there's a backlash on it, I'll go back to it. How's that?
No.
Craig Broderick. Eddie's always a great guest. Awesome episode. New drinking game, though. Every time Eddie says, just quickly.
See, I got to say, it's so funny how when people are listening to the show, the stuff that they pick up on that we don't pick up on when we're talking, because I saw that comment and I'm like, I laughed, but I'm like, I didn't pick up on that.
Oh, I bet you they could pick up on shit that I say constantly.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, no doubt.
Then you start
absolutely.
You get a major complex from it.
Yeah, you start just not talking at all.
Yeah. Our buddy and a super cool guy, and he's a big help to the show, and that's Tom Dust.
Oh, yes.
He writes, best bumper ever. Congratulations, fruitcakes. Very proud of you.
Yeah, we love Tom. Tom does our intro music for our Dorm Damage episodes. He's the best.
So I've probably played about half of his intros and exits from Dorm Damage.
Yeah.
He did. I gave him like 20, 25 songs and said from the 90s, obviously more like alternative grunge stuff, and said, can you do these so that we could play them on YouTube without getting in trouble? And he came back and did it. He is the fucking best. And he does our intro to this show too. So Tom, we love you, brother. We love you, brother. Wish you luck in the future. Former Big Hair thought it was funny at the 2 hour and 4 mark. And at the 2 hour and 9 mark, he says, and I think he liked that. I said that Gene Simmons said, and then I invented paper.
Oh, nice.
Tom, that's what I got. Let's go back to you for some emails.
All right, let's blow through some emails here. Let's blow some emails. We got an email here. This appears to be some new contributors to feedback. This is from Suzanne Donovan. Dear Tom and Zeus.
Summers?
I wish. Actually, maybe not anymore.
Ooh, it's a little rough.
You're looking not good. Anyways, back to Suzanne Donovan. Congratulations on your 200th episode. My husband and I listen to the Shout It Out Loudcast all the time. Your episodes are always interesting, authentic, and very often hilarious. With the great chemistry you two have with one another, you guys make a great couple. LOL. Oh, wow. Okay, well.
What the fuck?
Maybe there's some secrets you should know about us. We'll save that for a separate episode. In all seriousness, the Shout Out Loudcast is so entertaining in the best way to tune in and tune out. Okay. Your 200th episode was, of course, full of cool Kiss material. Plus, we loved hearing Eddie Trunk on the show as your special guest. Congrats again. Here's to many more. Take care. Your fellow Kiss-tards, Suzanne and Charlie. All right. Yeah. Our buddy Mike H., who we absolutely love when he just has stream of consciousness and fires off multiple emails. I'm going to stick with this one. I like this one. I absolutely love when you guys have a guest on and ask them those series of Kiss questions to start things off. It instantly opens things up and organically creates an avenue for so many interesting stories and elaboration. Just wanted to tell you how much I love that and what a fantastic idea it is. Mike, you're the best. We love you, buddy. Thank you. America's favorite realtor chimes in on email, as always, Joey Romanek. He gives us a lot of great information here. He loves the show. Obviously, we love Joey. I'll just say this right here. It's been said before, but one of the things that make you guys so great is not only the subject matter, but also the delivery and the chemistry. Something else that sets SIOL apart is the community. I remember when I was first listening, I would have thought, why does this guy in particular have a theme song? And this guy gets his name said on the show all the time. Is he friends with the host? I listen to other shows and they talk about great feedback, but they don't actually read any of it. And I know that the second best looking Joey that comments on the show, Joey Casada, may crap all over the length of the feedback part of your show, but it's really one of the things that makes your show great. I mean, where else would Jack Pinocchio have his own theme song? Or would Matt Wallace have his scatological fetishes celebrated? Or where I would be America's favorite realtor? You guys treat your listeners and fans like friends, and we all love you guys for it. You might think of yourselves as typical suburban dads, but in our eyes, you guys are superstars. On to the next 200, Joey. Woo! Joey, you're the best, man. Thank you so much. We truly, truly appreciate that. Excellent. Thank you. Let's go here. We got one from Scott Greer. Howdy, fuckos. First off, congrats on 200 episodes, and even more so getting a shout out from the demon himself. Love the interview with Trunk. He's always a great interview, and love this one even more special. There's so much in this interview that was greatness, but just loved Eddie's line about that. Keep up the great work in the entertainment. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, whatever applies. Thank you, buddy. And we're going to wrap up our feedback by talking about a very dear friend of the show and longtime Patreon, longtime supporter. And that's our buddy Nige Savage. You guys have obviously heard us mention him before. He sent us a very special message. We're not going to get into the details of it, but it was very touching to hear. He obviously put a lot of thought and emotion behind it, and we want to thank him for that. And we're a family. We say that all the time. We're a family, and we just want to acknowledge that we're here for everybody. You guys, we're here for me when I needed it. Zeus is always here for me. We're always here for each other. And we just want to appreciate what Nige did and the kind words that he sent to us. And for that, my friend, you are our comment of the week.
Good answer. Good answer. I like the way you think. I'm going to be watching you.
God bless you, Nige. I'll see you. I'll have a beer with you maybe when you make it to Boston.
Exactly.
Tom, what we like to do, too, is celebrate our Patreon family. We got to 200 episodes, and Patreon is a big part of the reason why we got to 200 episodes. It continues to grow. We're at our highest point. So I feel like every week or so I keep saying that. We're at our highest point, our largest membership. We added 3 new people last week.
Awesome.
And who are the awesome people that decided to join?
So our new family members are Pat King, the spaceman, Steve Houvain, a.k.a. Dr. 2 from Twitter, the Star Child, and Anthony Segura, also Star Child. 3 new Patreons. Pat, Steve, and Anthony, incredible. We can't thank you enough for this. Thank you so much for being a part of the Shout It Out Loudcast Patreon family. The family keeps growing. We love you guys, all of you. There are so many different things going on with Patreon. We have a couple things in store that we're going to be sharing with everybody. But please, if you're interested, check us out at patreon.com. You can search for us. You can download the Patreon app and search for us there. You can check out, there's 4 tiers. Each tier offers something a little different. Some kind of merch, involvement with the show, involvement on social media with us, some other special things. So please check us out if you're interested. And a huge thanks to Pat, Steve, and Anthony. Thank you.
Yeah, Patreon has grown, Tom, tremendously. I remember when we first decided to kind of like try it out and see what happens. We were kind of blown away by the generosity and the interest that we've received in Patreon.
Yep.
And it's just consistently growing. And we can't thank you enough, honestly. It's a huge help to us. And if you want to help us, please take a look at our Patreon account. You can go to shoutitoutloudcast.com, and right on the landing page, you'll see the top right says Patreon. Click on that. See, poke around, cut your feeler up a little, I'll get that out. Play around over there, see what's going on.
Hey, just a tip.
Yeah. Poke around over there. Maybe, just stick the tip in, see what's going on. And if you enjoy it for your enjoyment, please feel free to join. You'll get some perks from us, some merch, some involvement. And like Tom said, we have a couple things up our sleeve even before the end of the year. And before you know it, the IRC pick is coming up.
Yep.
So take a look at joining our Patreon account. It's a big help to us. Thank you to the 3 new members that decided to join our Patreon family. You're talking about Pat, Anthony, and Steve, Dr. 2. So thank you guys. And so, Tom, at this point, let's go over and find out what's going on in Kiss World.
Okay, so they've added more dates for their European tour next summer. So they're booked right now from June 10th all the way through July 15th, going all over Europe. And also, they just finished performing at the Hell in Heaven Metal Festival. That was on December 4th. And it was the end of the road set list. So good for them. That was in Mexico. That was one of those big giant festivals. It was the same set list. It does not appear that they did Making Love like they did at that other show that we announced when we talked about that last week. So pretty much the same set list. Other than that, not a whole hell of a lot, but in some Kiss adjacent news, our buddy Bruce Kulick has a huge event planned for New Year's Eve this year. So if you guys aren't aware of this, you can check out all the information at Bruce's website, brucekulick.com. But you get the New Year's Eve weekend experience. This is the ultimate New Year's Eve weekend fan experience, limited to 50 guests. Each guest will be directly engaging with Bruce, Lisa, the Bruce Kulick Band. All activities have been designed to provide a level of interaction and personalization never experienced before. Here's a couple things how the weekend will be. Friday afternoon, you'll have lunch with Bruce, Lisa, the band. Mini golf. Visit the Kiss World Museum. Then that night, cocktail party, gourmet dinner, special entertainment, an acoustic live set from Bruce's band. Then on Saturday afternoon, you get brunch. You got a Bruce Kulick retrospective and a Q&A with Lisa about Married to a Rock Star. Ooh. And then Saturday evening, you get the big New Year's Eve extravaganza. Cocktail party, gourmet dinner, a Bruce Kulick celebrity roast. Ooh. And the Bruce Kulick band live and loud, and you ring in the new year with Bruce and his band. Pretty kick-ass event right there. So check it out. You go to brucekulick.com. You get all the information there. It looks pretty amazing. Unfortunately, neither one of us are going to be able to make it. But my God, that sounds like a blast. So check it out. We love Bruce, and we love the BK band too. So that sounds like a killer event.
Yeah, you guys, if you have the opportunity, take a look. And not only is the music going to kick ass, but they're great people. Anytime we've done a meet and greet, met them in person, they're all superstars as rock musicians and as people.
Mm-hmm.
And, I wish I was part of the Bruce roast, Tom, so I could do my, hey guys, Bruce Kulick, going to play some tunes. Off Asylum, great song. Paul Stanley, what a singer.
See, that would
love you, Bruce.
Of course we love Bruce, but that's the whole point of a roast. It's friends kind of jabbing friends. And I'd like to think we're friends with Bruce. I mean, we've had him on the show. We met him in person at Creatures Fest, and we interacted with him on social media. And, again, we wish we could be there for the event, but unfortunately, we're buried up here in the Northeast, and we're just not going to be able to make it out there for New Year's. So we hope you guys have an amazing time, and maybe we'll submit a video roast. Hey, I don't know if you want one. Maybe we'll do it.
Yeah. And maybe, hey, Bruce, do I get an invitation as well? I'd love to come over and play a song off an album that you played on. I think you were on that album, Love Gun.
Also, I read something there. Looks like you're going to be doing a little bit of putt-putt. I'm really good at that. I know you guys call it mini golf where I'm from. It's putt-putt, but sounds good.
Hey, Tom, I saw that your favorite thing to do is Paul Stanley inserts himself in popular pop culture items. I guess Paul thanked, and we got it firsthand because we're on a fun little text group between Charlie Benante, PJ Farley, and Chris Jericho. And Charlie actually sent us the video of Paul like going up to him. It was pretty cool. Like
incredible.
And of course, but you were a little bit annoyed online that you were annoyed that he was inserts himself.
Yeah, it wasn't necessary. It was just like, what the hell? Like, look, I got tickets to the Metallica tour. I can't wait to see Pantera open up for them. We've had Charlie on the show. God love him. It's going to be amazing. I've seen some of the videos and the set list and everything. It's going to be incredible. When you think of Paul Stanley, I'm sorry, I know Pantera opened for Kiss.
Oh, because you got that thrown at you, didn't you?
Yeah, somebody did. Yeah.
Well, save it for Festivus. It's coming up.
But all I'll say is this: look, Paul, stop trying to be part of the current events. Stop. Oh, Pantera, dude, you don't listen to Pantera. You think you do.
Hey. Congratulations, Charlie. I heard you joined Panera Bread. They're a pretty good bread distributor of sandwiches. I'm more inclined for a Jersey Mike's grinder. I like getting them from over there. I didn't know that you were into the food industry. Oh, and Tom, before we move on, I also want to say thank you to everybody. You guys really got a kick out of the Gene intro that he did. We posted that afterwards as well, and you got to see his face. And I know I got a million. Why is he wearing a mask?
Who knows? Let it go.
And somebody was like, dude, he just did that video when he came out of the urologist. Like, who the fuck can you tell what's behind him?
No, the best part of the video was what you picked up, how his jacket says Gene, he's like he's the cook in the back.
Yeah, like he's a shorter cook at the Olive Garden. Short cook, Gene, please come over. Yeah, that's my name. I will make your French fries tasty and crunchy.
Rock and Brews, baby. Who ordered the barbecue beef burger?
That's the stupidest thing. He's got his shirt that says Gene on it. Okay, Gene.
Like we're gonna confuse you with some other 6'7" guy coming out of there with that.
Put that back. That's Gene's uniform. He's got to clean off the grill tonight. Anyway, Tom, before we move on, Ace has got a couple things he wants to say to Gene again. Hey, Gene, if you need some help fixing up some grinders, let me know. I made some dough working at a pizza parlor when I was young.
We're back. I just had to have a sit down with Ace and let him know that it's Pantera, not Panera Bread. And his response was, I like them both. One you can listen to, the other you can eat. What's to lose? I love them both.
Well, we hit the last of the solo albums.
Did we save the best for last?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Find out.
I'm excited because now next year we can do some different type of episodes based upon the 4 that we've reviewed now.
Yeah, we've talked about that. Once we get through all 4 album reviews the way we do, we're going to do something involving the whole thing surrounding that solo album in 1978 with them all coming out and, you know, the artwork and everything. So now that we've got this done, we got something for 2023 coming solo album related.
Yeah, so Peter Criss solo album. We'll get into it. The facts are pretty much the same as the old facts for the other 3 that we reviewed. My first interaction with this, I think I had it when I was a kid because I remember the cover and I remember having these records. I think I had all the solo albums. I don't remember any of the songs. I probably barely played it. And then after this time, a year or 2 from then, I was, out of Kiss. But I did have the album cover. I got back into Kiss later on. And then roughly about college years, I started, everybody had the Peter Criss, that solo album sucks. Blah, blah, blah. And being the contrarian that I am, like, oh, yeah, let me find out if you guys are all correct. And I found a few songs that I like because I've always liked Peter's voice. So from college years in the 90s and on, I listened to this album and it grew on me. And I had to become a defender of it. And we say this many times on this show. Some people don't like hearing it, but too bad. This is a good album. It's just not a Kiss album.
Exactly.
And I think because Peter is my favorite member, this has a warm spot for me.
Yeah, pretty much everybody's Peter Criss solo album origin story is probably the same. We had them all, and our story's similar to pretty much everybody. You put it on, you're used to hearing Baby Driver, Hooligan, Hard Luck Woman, Beth, whatever, Black Diamond, and you're like, oh, what's that? And you put it on, you're like, what in the fuck is going on here? What? And especially you got to remember the album. Like the people listening to this are between the ages of like what fucking 10 and 18. I mean, we were 5 when they came out, but so you're looking for Kiss music, right? And that's not what you got at all. And like you said, I was going to say the same thing. This is not a Kiss album. You can't go into this thinking that you're going to get Tonight You Belong to Me or Rip It Out. You're not getting that. Now I get it. Were we kind of fed kind of maybe a line of bullshit that like, oh, the band's going to do 4 solo albums? Peter really took that to heart and said, I am going to do a Peter Criss solo album. Gene kind of did that a little bit, but still stuck to some Kiss stuff. Ace and Paul were just Kiss albums pretty much in their own way. But yeah, I think it's funny. We talk about this. I think this is one of those albums that has been beaten into the ground for so long that it's almost like when we talk about albums that are overrated or underrated, well, like people have been saying that's underrated for so long, it's now overrated. Now it's like with this, like people have been saying this album's terrible for so long. Now it's actually good, but we'll get into what we truly feel about it as we kind of break it down. But yeah, it's a unique record. It's definitely unique.
So you talked about the fact that people listen to them like, what the fuck is this? The difference is, I like to think, and I don't want to get into too much of discussion of all 4 albums, but the difference is this album and Gene's are really out there.
Yep.
It's like if Paul did Hold Me, Touch Me, and the other 8 songs on that album are like that song.
Exactly.
That Hold Me, Touch Me on Paul is the outlier versus on Peter, it's all like that.
Correct.
So they all kind of took their chances with the exception of Ace and Paul, maybe one song he really went on his own, but most of the Ace and Paul's were kind of Kiss type music. Gene had a couple, but he was out there as well, which is why for Kiss fans, when you always say rank the 4 albums, just like Eddie did last week, he's like, well, that's easy. We know that what the top 2 are. It's always the battle for which is last.
Yep. And it's true too, because Peter really took the solo album project seriously. And he said, I'm going to go with my roots. And his roots are R&B, swing, soul, some jazz, like those are his roots. He doesn't come from the same background that Paul and Ace and Gene are. He doesn't come from that. And that was proven with the style of his drumming and everything. So, but I don't think a lot of people knew that. Obviously there wasn't the internet. Books weren't being written about the band then. So people just think Peter Criss, Catman, Kiss. What the fuck is this? You know what I mean? And I give him, as a 49-year-old man right now, I give him incredible amount of kudos for having the balls and the courage to make this album.
Yep. And a lot of cocaine. So.
Hell yeah.
The cover.
Yeah. So the cover is from the Italian artist. He's an Italian fella. Eraldo Carragati. I've said this before on the other solo album episodes. I believe that these are the definitive iconic images of the original 4 members. There might be more iconic posters or photo shoots, but these 4 images to me as a Kiss fan are it right here. The green is just, I love it. I love this artwork on all these covers. And this one is just stellar. And of course he's got the Love Gun outfit because he's got the bandolier around his neck and the green tinting is just spectacular.
So one of the things I want to say is Peter, of all the members, maybe Gene second, has had the most transformation of his makeup. So yes. you can look at it and look, what's his face on the debut? What's his face on this? What's his face on Destroyer versus Dynasty and all that other stuff. But when you look at this, I don't know. I'm not sure if I have a better image of Peter Criss looking cooler.
I agree. And that's the thing too that I love about this that's not like the other images is his head is down and he's looking up.
Yep.
It's not a portrait of him looking into the camera like Ace and the other ones. He's almost got like a scowl, which kind of fits his personality, which is kind of awesome to begin with. And then he's just looking up. It's just and the green is just, I love the color green to begin with. It's just incredible.
Just even the makeup itself, the silver tip nose, the red on the thing, the stripes are done perfectly. The eyes are done perfectly, and his hair.
Yep.
So recently, somebody, I'm not going to mention it, put a photo up of like a 2004 version of Making Love and a new version of Making Love.
Boy.
And on the cover is like, I think here's our little friend, Eric Singer.
Oof.
And and then there was another photo of him with Charlie in there.
Charlie. Yep.
And then you see Eric Singer. Someone's like, that's not real. Look at his face and his hairdo.
Yep.
And then look at this.
Yep. I agree. It's incredible.
The makeup works on his face and the shape, and his hair in this looks fine. It's decent. It looks cool. It's not the bad wig he started wearing in 96, and it's not the fucking horrendous shit that fucking Eric is wearing now.
And the cool thing about this portrait too is that there's a couple little tints of the salt and pepper, the silver too, which looked badass during that Destroy a Love Gun area. Kind of a couple little silvery kind of highlights there that he has. Near the front.
If you look at the right side near his eye, You can kind of see it a little bit. That's fucking awesome. Anyways, I think that's great. You wanted to mention one other fact, Tom?
Yeah, so they're famous for the backs of the albums are all uniform. Well, the front and the back are all uniform, and in each album they thank the other members. They so Peter thanks Ace, Paul, and Gene, but his is the only one where he thanks an extra person, and he thanks a gentleman by the name of Michael Benvenga. Excuse me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And that was one of his old bandmates from Chelsea. Yes. His band that he was in before Kiss. So I thought that was kind of unique. I mean, Peter kind of going out of his way to thank somebody other than the three original members that were in Kiss. I thought that was kind of unique. And I remember when I got the album, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? This guy ain't in Kiss. Michael Benvenga.
Yeah. So Tom, like the other albums, this was released in 1978, September 18th. Mm-hmm. Of the four albums, this charted at number 43, which was the lowest charting, but that's still not bad. It's now platinum. I think they were shipped platinum regardless.
Oh, my God.
It's produced by Vini Poncia, who we all know went on to produce a couple different Kiss albums after this, Dynasty and Unmasked. The other aspect of this is it's funny because, again, I don't want to get into too much facts of all the albums, but it is true. They kept shipping these things out, and people were talking about going into stores and seeing like all this Kiss shit everywhere. But in a sense, because all that Kiss shit was seen everywhere, people are like, this ain't selling. This is everywhere.
Exactly. Yep. It's kind of like anybody out there that goes to a Walmart.
Yeah.
And if you look for Walmart vinyl, there's 7 million copies of Adele's album. And I swear to God, I don't know what the hell's up with that, but it reminds me when I hear this story, I'm like, oh yeah, we'll buy 2 million of those. And then 1 million of them sit on the shelves or whatever. You know what I mean? There was like some punchline with the solo albums. Like, oh yeah, they shipped platinum and they were returned double platinum or something like something like that.
Yeah, basically. Right. That's the part of the problem with the solo albums. Now, there's a lot of parts in here that I got my info from Peter's book, which I love. I think it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Makeup to Breakup. And this is what he has to say about this. In retrospect, doing the solo albums probably put the final nail in the coffin of the band.
Yep.
From the start, Sean, being Delaney, was against it. He thought there'd be winners and losers. Then that would be the demise of Kiss. Sean's idea, though, was we should each back the others on the solo albums. How fucking cool would that have been?
That would have been insane. Yep, I agree. It would have been nuts.
Yeah, so that was one of the things I found interesting about Peter's book. Now, we mentioned that Vini Poncia was the producer of this.
Yep.
However, this was a complete clusterfuck because this is Sean Delaney's comment from Behind the Mask.
Oh, my God. Yeah, the go-to book for any album review.
In the band, Peter Criss and I were best friends. I absolutely loved Peter's voice. I've been writing songs for Peter's solo album. He told me, you're the only one who understands my voice. You are my Svengali. Then one day, Peter comes back from this big meeting with Glyn Johns. Glyn Johns, the famous producer who worked on the Eagles' first few albums. He's worked with Zeppelin, The Who, Faces, and Rod Stewart. But he was turned down flat. The tape that Peter had songs done by him and Stan Penridge was so bad. Peter comes back to me now and says, Sean, would you produce my album? I said, well, I can't. Gene asked me, and I made an agreement with him. Peter gets all pissed off. No.
This is great.
Then I went to Gene and told him that Peter's having problems now because his demo tapes are pure shit, and Glyn Johns just turned him down. Gene just didn't want any kind of publicity like that out there. I told him if I get your permission, I can go into the studio and do a demo tape of some of Peter's songs, and that'll help him get a producer. Gene said, oh, yes. Gene gives me permission to go to the studio and work with Peter. So I get my guys together and we go to Electric Lady Studios. I have some of the most important musicians, musos in the studio sitting there, and Peter's late. Finally, Peter gives me a call and says, I'll be there in a couple hours. I said, well, you just get your ass down here as quickly as possible. So I went in the studio and started recording. Those were my songs. So I started recording I Can't Stop the Rain and Rock Me Baby. And there were two others. So Peter gets in. I'm playing all the stuff that we've done back to him. He said to these guys, fellas, I really want to thank you. I really appreciate you coming and doing this. And I want to know that the work is going to be given a real producer and they're going to really do it right. These guys are literally almost walking out of the studio. I'm running around trying to show, and I'm trying to their anger. I'll calm everybody back down. Part of I Can't Stop the Rain is my voice. With Peter and I, it was always a very intimate thing when we did vocals. He'd sit there on a stool and I'd sit on a stool with him. He'd sing to me. We get through those songs. I'm getting ready to start mixing them. And Peter and I get into a big argument. I tell him to go fuck himself. I said, in fact, man, these are my songs. Screw you. I paid for the session and went about my business doing Gene's solo album. After the albums were done, Gene's was the first one completed. I can't say under budget because there was no budget. Each of the guys on his own studio albums was responsible for the bill of their solo album. They weren't given a budget by Casablanca. Then one day I got a phone call 3:00 in the morning from Howard Marks, Glickman Marks Company. He wants to know the names of the musicians that were used on Peter's solo album. I said, why don't you call the producer? I don't know who they used. He then starts listing off the songs that I had done. 2 that I had written, another one called Easy Thing, which I had totally redone. I said to Howard, what do you mean my shit's on his solo album? He said, well, Sean, let's put it this way. Do you want me to tell Neil Bogart that you were the one person stopping the solo albums from release, costing him millions of dollars? How do you think he's going to feel about your upcoming solo album now? So I was blackmailed into releasing those songs. They used 3 of my songs. They used them because they couldn't do them any better.
I'm telling you right now, there is no other solo album story like that one. That's fucking incredible.
Yikes.
That is incredible.
This is the kind of shit that I listen to Paul. Like, Peter is just, when he feels insecure about, I'm not stupid, I'm smart.
He's fucking Fredo.
Yeah, that it's just Mickey Mouse, him and his dork friend, Stan Penridge Farms.
Yep.
Like, always coming up with shit, and it's like Paul thinks it's not up to snuff.
Yep.
However, this is Peter's account from his book. When it was time to break away and do the albums, Sean got depressed because he found out he wasn't going to produce mine.
Oh, my God.
I got together with Sean Penridge and worked on some new songs for the album. Stan and I would often get together and write when we were on breaks and touring. I decided I want to use Giorgio Moroder to produce. He had done a lot of work with Casablanca at the time, and he would go on to do the music for Scarface. Awesome soundtrack. He turned me down because he didn't like the demos that Stan and I had done. So then I tried Tom Dowd, who was Rod Stewart's producer. I wonder if he's fucking that up and thinking he's trying to say Glenn Johns.
He's totally fucking it up. Of course he is.
Tom was in Mexico at the time, and the message he got was a Mr. Christ wanted to talk to him about producing his album.
Christ.
But the time he cleared up the confusion, he got back to me, it was too late. So I went back to Sean, but he had already committed to producing Gene's album. So I got pissed off. It's a shame Sean and I didn't work together on that album. He had a miserable time working with Gene. And I wound up hiring Vini Poncia to produce me. Anyways, I thought I'd read that part because I find that shit fucking hilarious.
Oh, it's awesome. And there's other stuff from Behind the Mask, too. Peter's got another quote. He said when it came to the solo album, it's like it ended up being who's going to have the best album? Who's going to outsell whose album? That's when the ego, the cancer comes in. I would be surrounded by people who would say, you don't need those fucking jerks. Listen to how good that song is.
Hanger-ons. And that's the problem they all had.
And one of the best things about the Behind the Mask book is when they cover the albums, each band member rates the albums with stars. This pisses me off so badly when we talk, because every album review we go to Behind the Mask and we talk about I give this 1 star, I give this 5 stars. So of course Peter says I'd give mine a 5. Of course, can't blame him.
But he does say, I give them all a 5 because they all work their ass off.
Exactly. Ace, I give Peters a 3. And then 2 of the worst comments I've ever heard right here. Paul. Now, this book was written in... Hold on a second. This was... Okay. So this book was written in 2003. 2003, Paul said, I think Peter's record summed up a lot about what was a problem ultimately with the band. That album, I just don't get. I can't give it any stars. But 20 years from now, I'm going to make Soul Station. Yeah. Really,
However,
Paul?
But if you go to the box set.
Yep. Go ahead.
All right. So they always have a little blurb of every song. This one is on Don't Let Me Down. Paul talks about Peter's song. He writes, it's all the ingredients in any recipe that makes it what it is. Though some of the components may seem a little bit obvious or necessary. That being said, it's clear listening to this track that Peter's roots very much steeped in Benny King, the Drifters, as much as anything else. I think it is a great indication of music that Peter was most comfortable with. In some strange way, was part of the uniqueness that he brought to the band. Clearly, though his style would have little place with the fans, it's the most subtle influence that helped make Kiss what it is and was. So which one is it?
That was 2 years. The box set came out in 2001. This book was written 2 years later. Right.
One is on the ins, one is on the outs.
Exactly. And then another ridiculous comment here is Gene. 0. Out of all the records that we've ever done solo or as a group, this is amazing because this is so... Gene's a smart guy. So a comment like this from him...
It's unnecessary.
But it's not even that it's unnecessary. It's really stunning the lack of insight that Gene has because he's so smart. He says, I think that one showed that the guy behind it didn't have a clue, not only about songwriting, but about direction in who he is. Ironically enough, Peter, although he really can't sing, he's tone deaf. The actual straight tone that comes out of his mouth is probably my favorite out of all of us, that whiskey voice, but he can't control it. First of all, he's tone deaf. What the fuck are you talking about? Second of all, showed that the one guy didn't have a clue. This album shows the most clue out of any of them, but you just don't like it because it's not your style of music.
Dude, if anybody doesn't have a fucking clue, it's the guy that wants to put Rin Tin Tin on an album.
Exactly. And have fucking Peg Bundy sing background vocals on one of his songs.
Yes.
Right.
Or Helen Reddy on his albums.
Yeah, that guy
has a clue, right?
Right. Exactly.
But it's unnecessary. Why do you have to go out of your way to be as mean and insulting? Or he can't sing. He's tone deaf. Why do you have to fucking say that? Dude, he has sung on your biggest fucking songs. And you're telling everybody, yeah, he doesn't know how to sing.
I don't understand. I mean, I'm not an expert here, but he can't sing. He's tone deaf.
What? He can't control his voice. Well, what the fuck did he do on those 2 songs?
I don't. That's what I'm saying.
Black Diamond, at least.
I mean, I understand everybody's got an opinion, but when your opinion is this, that's just fucked up. I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get it. At some
point, you got to face this person. You have to do business with this person. How do you fucking look at somebody and say something that blatantly, unnecessarily mean?
And then the other unique thing about the Peter Criss solo album, it's now in Behind the Mask. Every album in chronological order is broken down with every song in track listing order.
Yeah.
The Peter Criss solo album is the only album in the entire Kiss catalog that's in this book that has only one song. Yeah. It does not have all the tracks, and I don't get that at all. It has You Matter to Me, and we'll cover that when we get to the songs. I was shocked when I opened up this book. I'm like, they only talk about one of his songs. And you got to believe that that's Paul and Gene behind that, even though Paul and Gene didn't write the book.
It's like, instead of being the bigger and better people who have a bigger and better career right now, let's throw him a bone.
Right.
They fucking pile on.
Yeah. I mean, as a Peter fan, it's frustrating. I mean, Paul, Paul says I can't even give it any stars. I just don't get it. Gene, 0. The guy's tone deaf. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we got into a lot of the other information. Let's get to the actual album and the songs. And Tom, there's no other way to start this but with this.
I'm Gonna Love You. One of the all-time great opening lyrics to any song, any Kiss song. Just fan-fucking-tastic. Now, let's start off this. I'm sure you'll have something similar to say, but we're into the album now. We're into the music. I enjoy this kind of music. I like R&B. I like soul. I like music that has horns, stuff that's kind of jazzy and swingy. I grew up with that. I mean, for Christ's sake, both of my grandfathers were professional musicians that played saxophones in bands. That was their career. And I grew up listening to music. So I'm not saying that to make it sound like I'm some music genius that appreciates this album differently than somebody else, but I'm just telling you where my background is for appreciating this kind of music. I love this kind of stuff. Another thing I'll say about this album, I think the production is fucking fantastic. And the arrangements in these songs, from the horns to the drums to the keyboards to whatever, these are like really, really well done and well arranged, like R&B, like soul flavored songs, like very well done. And I always wonder if this album came out by somebody, but like if Peter Criss was never in Kiss and some solo artist by the name of Peter Criss released this in 1978, I have a feeling this album could have done something, because I think it just taps into that type of music and it taps it in terrifically. But this song's great. When the horns come in on the second verse, the background vocals, it's an excellent song.
I'm Gonna Love You. This is one of the songs written by Peter Criss and Stan Penridge. So these musicians played on the first, I think, album, side A. Mm-hmm. So the bassist was Bill Bodine. Guitar was Art Munson. The king of surf guitar, a.k.a. Dick Dale.
Yes.
Guitar also was Stan Penridge on this. The keys and piano were Bill Cuomo. And the horns were arranged by a guy named Tom Saviano. Mm-hmm. This was one of the many songs on this album that it was originally recorded by Lips. Yep. And the thing about this was that Stan Penridge sang all these songs. He was the singer in Lips.
Yep.
It was actually covered by a band called Awaken on one of their albums. I'll tell you, that opening lyric is so kind of like out there.
I love it.
Different. Don't let me find you sleeping with another man. Who would say that?
Like, what are you going to do? So what he's saying, he's pretty much starting off his solo album with a threat.
Yeah. Catching you banging another dude. Come on.
I love it.
So what the funny part about this song reminds me of, Tom, when we were at the Worcester Centrum.
Yep.
And we were walking in and we were laughing to each other. It was just me and you.
Oh my God.
And I started humming this as I said, don't let me find you. And I was joking with you. And then some kid walking behind us go, sleeping with another man.
Like,
and he's like, yeah, Peter Criss solo album. I was like, holy shit.
It was like we each had like the Kiss Tard Wonder Twin rings on. Kiss Tards Unite.
I'll never forget that
moment.
moment.
So funny.
Yeah. But I'm with you, Tom. I love this style of music. The piano, not keyboards.
Yes.
I love that piano, old school, like, fucking brown piano you'd find in a dirty bar.
Yeah. Yep. Like Rolf.
Yeah.
The Muppet.
And there's a lot of music like I can't explain it. I have this image of a lot of these songs is of a guy on the piano with this mouth open and teeth grinning and like,
yeah. Yep.
And doing that thing, that look like that Eddie Murphy look, a cover of Eddie Murphy on Jet magazine. Eddie marries Bush bitch. And he's like, and he's got that look. That's what I think of, a guy on the piano playing music like this. So the backing singers, whoever they are on this, is fantastic. So it's a running theme throughout this album. The backing vocals, the fucking callbacks, always moving, and their singers are fantastic. The horns. This is a fucking 70s thing. I almost feel like seeing like the video of a Celebration.
Oh
Cool
my
in the
God.
Game.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then they're flipping the trumpets in their fingers. They're right, and everyone's like,
it's that kind of stuff,
and they're all
awesome.
smiling. Everyone's got a big stupid grin. Their teeth are all out there, and everyone's on the piano. It's just fun fucking music.
Yep.
And the guitar's decent on this, and Okay. So here's one of the things. Mind you, I love Peter's voice. So I love his voice on this. If you wanted to, this is one of the many songs on this album. If you took it and maybe had Eddie Kramer produce this and took out the pianos and the horns and added the guitar and extra fucking
Kiss song killer.
Guitar licks in there and guitar fills instead of trumpet. Oh, these songs could rock.
Absolutely.
Really could.
Absolutely.
And if you make Peter start using that raspy Peter voice and pick it up, this could be a huge rock kind of Kiss song. But he put it into that R&B style. Okay. It could be good two ways. Who knows?
Yep.
But I'm a huge fan of this song. I really like it.
Me too.
All right, Tom. You matter to me.
All right. You matter to me. So this is kind of like the outlier on the album because it's not a ballad and it's not like a bluesy, soulful kind of R&B thing. It's a disco song, I guess. And I will tell you right now, fucking love it. I've always loved this song.
I know. I don't get it.
I have always loved, and I'll tell you what gets me. That keyboard, when I hear this song, this is what I think of. I'm picturing the late 70s and I'm picturing being in a roller skating rink with like a disco ball and everybody just kind of swaying because you matter to me and you kind of just like grooving. I love the song. I'm just a sucker for this.
So you mean like something like in a scene where Starsky and Hutch are trying to catch this robber, but he's in a disco thing and a roller roller rink. And there are people dancing and the music's going in the background. There's a strobe.
Yes.
And they're just cutting to people like having this song playing in the background. Yep.
I can't, just when the chorus is so goddamn catchy, it's so hooky. And that little like synthesizer, like, you know, whatever, electronic piano, whatever it is. I love it.
There's that little, I call it the Cobra one from Jerky Boys. There's a
I love it.
That little like melody that pops up every once in a while.
Yep. Somebody's
on the synth machine, and you can completely picture it. Very 70s song. So
I love it.
It was actually the second single released from this album.
Which, by the way, funny bit of trivia we didn't talk about. This album is the only solo album with 2 singles released from it.
Neither charted, but he had 2 singles.
But how ironic is that? The solo album that gets butchered had 2 single releases.
Yeah. So the song is written, You Matter to Me. The song is written by Vini Poncia, John Vastano, and Michael Morgan. John Vastano, I guess, was in a band called Whitewater. He was a singer-songwriter, did a lot of R&B, like white soul music, and he brought it in, and Vini Poncia and Michael Morgan designed it for Peter. We mentioned second single release. Peter calls it a great song. It's a cool song. It's got a great feel. It's got a cool poppy feel to it. I think it's a great tune. On this, you got Peter again. Bass is Bill Bodine. Guitarist Art Munson, aka Dick Dale. Guitarist Stan Penridge. And again, Bill Como on the keyboard / piano. Another 1970s song. I almost feel like it's that, what's that fucking song called? It was in Ford Fairlane with Al Bundy. Booty time,
oh, God.
Across the USA. Yeah. Booty time. A lot of oohs in the background.
Oh, totally.
The backing vocals are fan-fucking-tastic on this.
Yep.
Right?
A nice little bit of trivia. This song was covered by John Travolta's little brother, Joey Travolta.
Joey Casada?
Oh, well, I was just going to say Joey Travolta's real name is Joey Casada. So
yeah. Joey Casado wishes he was as good looking as fucking John Travolta. Let's be blunt. Peter lied and told Lydia he wrote the song for her. He didn't even write the song.
Right.
And that was another thing. We didn't really get into it. 2 couple things that were involved with Peter doing this album. One was the major car accident he fucked up.
Oh, that's right. In his
Porsche.
Porsche.
Trying to fucking do this album afterwards.
Yep.
And the other is he started banging his second wife, the Playboy model, and leaving Lydia. So he had that going on too. So there's a lot of shit going on in here.
Yep.
But anyways, this song was also on Kiss 40 Decades of Decibels album, Tom.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
And lastly, Tom, one other thing I wanted to add. This is the first Kiss disco song.
Yes, that's right. Came out before
because it came out in 78, right?
That's right.
So this is the first thing. So Paul's probably like, another thing he's jealous of Peter about.
Imagine, and you'd never in a billion years hear him think that he was influenced by this, right?
Nope.
Yep.
All right, Tom, if you had a rough sleep, play this song.
Tossin and Turnin cover song, originally recorded by Bobby Lewis, spent a ton of time at number 1 in 1961. Peter says, I always liked it because I have insomnia. I related to it. The original song is whatever. It's hokey. It's poppy 1960s kind of shit. I fucking love this version. I can see Zeus is like, what's the matter with my co-host right now? I love this version because even Peter admits it. He slowed it down. He gave it a little bit of a groove, a little bit of a swagger. And there's like that little, when he's like, I couldn't sleep at all last night. And then you get the guitar. It's like, bam, 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 bam. Like he just adds a little bit of like funk and soul to it. And I can't believe I'm talking about Tossin and Turn on Peter Criss's soul album with this much like enthusiasm. But I love the chorus. Like it's just hooky. It's catchy. He did change a little bit of the lyrics. The original line said the clock downstairs is striking 4. He changed the lyrics to 3 because that's his lucky number. It's the funny thing about this, and I will laugh, if you've ever seen any of the live footage from when Kiss did the Dynasty tour, and they each put in one of their solo album songs. So Ace did New York Groove, Paul did Move On, Gene did Radioactive, and Peter did Tossin and Turnin. Looking at like Gene and Ace trying to like rock out to Tossin and Turnin is fucking hilarious. It is so awkward. It's because it's not a Kiss song. But that being said, these kind of hooky, kind of poppy things just suck me in. I like it.
So Tossin and Turnin was originally written by somebody named Richie Adams, I think, and Malu Renee. It was recorded by Bobby Lewis in 1960 and went number 1 in 1961 for 7 weeks.
Yep.
It was on this song. The drums were Peter. The bass was Bill Bodine. The guitar is Art Munson. Guitar is Stan Penridge. Keys and piano, Bill Cuomo. And then Michael Carnahan does a sax solo. And you got percussions. Lenny Castro, I think of Toto, is on this.
There's a couple guys from Toto on this.
Yeah, they'll be coming up.
Yep.
This was played on the Dynasty tour, as Tom said. This is just old school rock and roll.
Yeah.
You know, it's the backing singer, a lot of vocals, a lot of horns. I like the groove. The drums is pretty cool. Doot, doot, when he starts hitting the drums and getting into it. The sax solo is a little much on a Kiss album. You know, I'm thinking it's like a Duran Duran Rio fucking sax solo, like in the middle of this. Like, But probably they were pressed for time, and I'm thinking to myself, like, hey, we got to put another song on here. Well, I could do a good version of this. I like this song. I think, Peter, your voice and your groove, you can make this work. And they just threw it on here.
How dare you discredit this song as a throw-in? Ugh.
Well, they just did Then She Kissed Me.
No, I know.
They just done other stuff like that. So I'm thinking, they're like, oh, let's get an old school song, and Peter likes it and stuff.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't want 9 songs. I want 10. Let's just do a cover. I don't mind that.
No, I got you.
So, yeah, it's don't you let me down, Tom.
All right. Don't You Let Me Down. Another one of the singles that was released from this album. This is when you start to get into like just the real like 70s, like AM gold type singer songwriter, like the stuff your mom would put on the hi-fi. Like it's, but for what it is, like I like it. Peter sounds great. You can't look at this and be like, that's not Black Diamond. It's just terrible. Like it's you have to examine it for what it is. At least that's how I look at it. And I like
Let's not rip it out.
Oh, it's terrible. Baby. I mean, his voice is great. You know, the background vocals get a little cheesy, but you got to remember it's 1978. Pop music was at probably its cheesy heights of all time in 77, 78. He sounds great. And I like the song. He claims that it's a love letter to his Playboy model that he had met prior to the recording of the album.
Yeah.
That's what he claims in one of the
Second
things.
wife.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So Don't You Let Me Down is another Peter Criss, Stan Penridge song. Lips recorded this again with Stan singing this originally. I think it's their first single that they released was Don't You Let Me Down.
Mm-hmm.
The musicians on this are the same as the Tossin and Turnin. I'm not going to name them all again. And it's another 1970 perfect sounding song, soulful R&B and stuff. Cool backing vocals with the callback. I love that song. It's like a lounge singer act, and you can have two girls behind
exactly
the snapping the fingers and doing that stuff.
Exactly.
And he does a pretty decent version when he does it live. He did it in his last concert he did in New York. You can catch that on YouTube. And I think he played this at Creatures Fest, didn't he?
I think so. We should probably remember that, but I think we're in line waiting to see fucking Vinnie Vincent by the time we.
Yeah, and he was like clipping on that thing. He had that little hand. What do you call those things? Canopies. Canopies.
Castanets.
Oh, I know. Canopies. That's a Ritz cracker and it's chopped liver.
What the fuck?
He's playing his canopies. But it's a lounge type song. And then he for the last 10 minutes on the song, falling down, down, falling.
And it doesn't end.
Down. An old man falling. There's a reason to kick an old man down a flight of stairs. Just don't do it. This made it onto Icons and Kiss Gold as compilations.
Yep.
I like the song. I really do.
Yeah,
if you like Peter and you like his soulfulness, I think he does a great job of doing this live. So, you know what kind of sugar Papa likes.
That's the kind of sugar Papa likes. We always used to laugh at this song title, which ironically apparently came from a line from a Humphrey Bogart film, the 1948, The Treasure of the Sierra Madre.
Yeah. Good movie.
Which is pretty cool. Whenever I hear this song, I think of Kiss in Attack of the Phantoms, because this is one of the songs that's played during some chase scene or fight scene.
Yeah.
I love this song. Great vibe. I love when it gets to the chorus. The drums have a little bit of a shuffle groove to it. This is the kind of stuff that you can tell that he's passionate about it because he does it so well.
Yeah.
I think this is a great song. It has a really cool vibe. It's got the poppiness, but it also has some of that soulfulness too. So I can't think he's kind of checking off all the boxes on this one. Very cool. The drums I think are awesome in this, and they'll get the background vocals and stuff. Very cool tune.
So that's the kind of sugar Papa likes. Another Peter Criss, Stan Penridge song. The same musicians on this, except Steve Lukather plays on this. Tom,
who's a legitimately awesome guitarist.
Yeah, and he does a pretty good solo on this. I really enjoyed it.
Very good. Yep.
Yeah. You already mentioned the movie, the Humphrey Bogart movie. It's another lip song that Stan sang originally. I always liked the song and the drums and the guitar. It's a fun fucking song. I know the title is kind of cheesy, but again, more great backing vocals. And I love the part where Peter goes, and find somebody that'll love me right. And he raises his voice and does. That's the Peter screech from, Nothing to Lose, Black Diamond, Baby Driver. I fucking love that Peter shit.
Yep.
As I said, the solo is very melodic. And then the outro, Peter's wailing again, a la Nothing to Lose, Black Diamond stuff. This one is also on Icons, the compilation album. Let's take the vinyl, Tom, and put it on the other side for the next track.
Easy Thing. Now, this is one of the songs that people go to and this album's terrible. Listen to Easy Thing. I don't know. What can I say? It's more 70s AM gold. It would have been at home in that era. If somebody else, if this was not Peter Criss from Kiss, this would have been a fucking top 10 hit in 1978. It would have been. It kicks in at the end. His voice is, he's wailing. He's passionate. He's emotional. He's pouring his heart out. Is the song good? I don't know. He sounds great on it. It's corny. It's pretty cheesy. It's late 70s cheese, but he doesn't sound bad on it. I don't wince when I listen to it. It's not a song that I spend a lot of time listening to on repeat. But it's 1978. I think Peter sounds good on it.
Easy Thing, written by Peter Criss and Stan Penridge. Peter doesn't do drums on this. This is Alan Schwartzberg playing the
Mhm.
drums.
Yep.
The bassist is Neil Jason. Guitarist is Elliot Rendell. Tom, you know him?
No.
Okay. He's the guy they said is famous for doing the guitar solo for Fame, the song. Irene
Ooh.
Cara, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yep.
And Reelin' in the Years by Steely Dan.
I did read about that there was a lot of crossover in this era with those guys, a lot of those session guys jumping in between each other. Yeah.
Yep. And a guitarist named John Tropia, guitarist Brendan Harkin, and keyboard pianos Richard Gerstein. This is covered by a punk band named Harvey Milk. Never heard of them, but I knew who the politician was. The acoustic opening, a little Going to California acoustic opening.
Very, very much so.
I like the echo in Peter's voice.
Yes, the reverb's awesome. I like that.
Yeah. I like when it picks up after the second verse.
Yeah.
I can't think of the song, Tom. I can't think of it. It's bugging me. It's a 90s song, like a grunge song off a fucking soundtrack, or I can't think of it, what it reminds me of. I will get it at some point, but it fucking bugs the shit out of me.
Okay.
I don't know who it is, but it'll come to me.
Okay.
Peter's voice is, will you really feel the love? That part, I'm like, yeah, that's my Peter. And Sean Delaney said that he totally redid this for him. This is also on Icons as a compilation track. Again, I used to laugh at this and be like, this is fucking putrid.
Yep.
But then I started listening to it more and giving it a chance. And then I realized this is a fucking decent, good song.
Yep.
Just like I said, the two songs from The Elder that we would laugh. But if you put it in context and put it in a Broadway play and not tell people this is a song by Kiss about the fucking Elder and this, people would be like, okay, yeah, that was interesting. The melody works. The guy singing it does a great job. Like, same thing with this.
Yep.
Take it out of fucking whatever. Give it to Andy Gibb in that time period.
Perfect.
And see what he could do with it.
Yep.
Right?
That's right. Yep.
So, all right, Tom, let's pick it up a little bit. Let's go to the next track.
Rock Me Baby. Absolutely killer song. When this song kicks in, the horns, the piano, you can't help but just get into the groove of this song. His voice is incredible. The band is going insane. This is such a kick-ass, this is like bar band music shit, almost like Bob Seger-ish style. Yeah.
I have it right here. Imagine Seeger doing this.
Who I absolutely love, Bob Seger, one of my all-time favorites. Love that guy. I could totally see, and he's got that whiskey, raspy voice himself. Yep. Would have been a killer song. This is definitely a standout track. When Peter's doing this type of stuff, I understand there's a lot of ballads, a lot of soft rock on here. But when he's doing these kinds of things, where he's throwing in the horns and the piano and really singing his heart out, he just hits it out of the park for me.
Rock Me Baby. Another one of Sean Delaney's imprints on this band, written by Sean.
Yep.
So this is one of the songs he's like, okay, let me help Peter out. I just wish he stayed with the band more.
I know.
The impact he could have had
Yep.
on this band.
Yep.
On the drums is Alan Schwartzberg, bass Neil Jason, guitar John Tropia, and keys, piano Richard Gerstein. Peter says that him and his backup singers got loaded on champagne, put their arms around each other, and sang their hearts out.
I can believe it. That's what it sounds like.
Okay. I can picture them now. There's nobody in Kiss at that time, other than Peter Criss, that would have that much personality that could do something like this.
Totally. Oh, yeah,
Could you
right.
picture Gene letting loose and arms around somebody singing? First of all, can you picture Paul letting his guard down?
No. What about me? I could put a couple bottles of champagne down.
Dude.
I'll put my arm around a light post. That don't matter.
Dude, Ace putting his hands around people and trying to sing and dance, he would fucking wipe out and take about 3 or 4 people down with him. Oh, fuck!
That's why he has a song called Wiped Out on his solo album.
Oh, shit, I was feeling wiped out. I love that. It just, I can so picture Peter doing that.
Yep.
And this song is just like you said, perfect for Bob Seger. So you take out the horns a little bit, put a little more guitar into this. This song would really rock on a Kiss album.
Yep.
But I can like both versions of the two different types of songs.
Yep.
This is on Best of Solo albums, Tom.
Yes, it is.
The horns, the piano, the groove, the Peter vocals. Song is really jumping, and there's a lot of fun guitar on this. The solo is pretty cool on this as well.
Yep. Good song all around.
Yeah. Let's go to the next track.
Kiss the Girl Goodbye. Maybe this is Peter's last solo album version of like Beth, very Beth-ish. It's got the acoustic stuff. It's, it's a pretty song, if I can use that word. Peter says the song has doubled as a bittersweet love letter to his first wife, Lydia. And, when he's saying kiss the girl goodbye, kiss the band, kiss the girl goodbye. Who knows? Is he that smart? I don't know. Maybe. But again, it's what he's trying to do in 1978. It's not Kiss, but it's a very well done song. It's an acoustic ballad. It's like a Going to California. It's like a Beth or whatever. It's a very well arranged song. As I said at the beginning, these songs are all very well put together.
Kiss the Girl Goodbye, another Peter Criss, Stan Penridge farm song. Stan plays guitar on this and Peter the percussions. It's an acoustic song, as you said, a very Going to California-ish, a singer-songwriter type of song. It's kind of short. It's like under 3 minutes, 2 minutes and 48 seconds, I think.
Yep.
Again, another song that kind of grew on me.
Me too.
If this is thrown in the middle of Rock and Roll Over, you'd be like, what the fuck is this? But on a Peter Criss solo album, I get it.
Yep. Agreed.
Let's go to the next track.
So the last of the real killer R&B flavored kind of rocker tunes, Hooked on Rock and Roll. Love this one. Another well done, great chorus. Obviously got that awesome line about being vaccinated with a Victrola and needle. I mean, who the hell's writing that? Really cool stuff. Great background vocals. Steve Lukather has another guitar solo. Just a really, really cool song. I mean, very, very cool song. Great vibe. You could tell that Peter is just very, very skilled at putting these kinds of songs together. And I love this one. It was originally a Lips song. It's kind of remade and reworked for what we have here. But just, Peter knocks it out of the park with these. He does a great job. This is another good one.
All right. Hooked on Rock and Roll, Peter Criss, Stan Penridge. Drums are Peter. Bass is Bill Bodine again. Bodine, excuse me. Guitar, Art Munson, Stan Penridge, and the solo, Steve Lukather, as you said. Back to Bill Cuomo on the keyboard piano. And baritone saxophone, Michael Carnahan, I think. Peter calls this his biographical song. It's brilliant, he says. The whole thing's about my life. Another lip song sung originally by Stan Penridge. The song rocks. It's old school rock. Very cool. It's funny because I can totally picture this, having gone to my kids' chorus band concerts for 3 years. Thank God she stopped. And she plays sax in a band. And I've seen these type of songs done by the conductor who thinks he's like fucking rocking out to Metallica or something. Like, getting into it. I could totally picture this. And as we were listening, as I picked up my kid from school today, Tom, I was very proud to tell me that, that's a baritone sax, Dad. I'm like,
ooh, nice.
And I when I looked and did the notes on this, I'm like, it says actual baritone sax.
Nice.
Michael, whatever his name. I'm like, oh, fuck. Dude, I can't even pick out a bass in some songs. And she's got an ear for that. And I love that part when it picks up Tom and he goes, Mama told me long ago.
So good.
Ain't no future in that rock and roll. I can't tell you. It's just a fun song.
Yeah, it's a good song.
This is a very Kiss-like song. This could have worked easily on a Kiss album. Take the horns out. All those guitar that's going on in this.
Yep.
Take the horns and put the guitar fills in instead of the horns. It fucking works.
Yep. Agreed.
And I like the outro. It's really rocking.
Yep.
Let's go to the last track.
I Can't Stop the Rain. It really an incredible ballad by Peter here. Vocals just off the rails here. I mean, again, is it corny? Is it cheesy? Is it late 70s AM gold cliche? Yes. But he nails it. He just does a great job. And you have to, when we look at these albums, we're not looking at through the lens of 2022 or Kiss Alive 2 or whatever. You're looking at it through what is in front of us. It is what it is. It's a well done ballad. Peter, again, his voice just kicks ass on these types of songs. You really hear that soulfulness that he provides. This of the ballads is probably the best one in my book on the album.
Last track here, I Can't Stop the Rain, written by Sean Delaney. Drums, Alan Schwartzberg, Neil Jason on the bass, Elliot Randall, guitar, John Tropia guitar, piano keys, Richard Gerste. Sean Delaney writes good songs.
Absolutely, he does. Yes.
If you fucking just did a Sean Delaney mix of songs,
yep,
you're going to be sitting there going, holy shit.
Yep.
That's a fucking great compilation.
Yep.
The whole famous, well, at least to Kiss Tards, it's famous. This is New York.
I love it.
Yo.
Love it.
Fucking, like an earworm. Like, why is it in there?
Yep.
It's a fucking beautiful song.
Yep.
In my opinion. Nice piano opening. And there's a little whispering going on in there in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then a cold wind came calling, and that pickup. You know what I'm talking about. And then the piano starts going. Peter's phrasing. I've never ever thought about Peter and any of that stuff. His phrasing of the words in the lyrics to go with the piano is fucking awesome, especially the drums and the music when they pick up from that. Then a cold wind came calling.
Yep.
The chorus is fan-fucking-tastic.
It's awesome.
And that's all Sean Delaney, especially when he says lightning, and then boom, that part in the song goes, strikes across the sky.
Yep.
Oh my God, it's a beautiful guitar solo. What a way to end this album.
Yeah. I can't believe that we just went through 10 songs and gushed over the Peter Criss solo. I knew we would, but I just love that we did.
Final thoughts.
This is probably the first time since the album came out that I spent an extended period of time with the album. I have Kiss playlists. I have Kiss Shuffle. Song will come on. It's usually the same ones I listen to, but spending a long time with this album and really listening to every song from start to finish. It's not a Kiss album, but as a Peter Criss album, it's fucking awesome. Love it.
I'll tell you, same thing. I've always listened to it. I've always liked it. Peter's my favorite guy. I can listen to this whole album. I don't dislike the 10th song on this album.
There's no skips, which is rare.
Because it's a mood album.
Yep.
So we talked about it when we reviewed your Rush album. You can put that on. You can put Dark Side of the Moon. You can listen to the whole album through. Automatic for the people. I can put the album on. I can just leave it on, do whatever I'm doing and have the album on. Same thing with this. There's always something that annoys me on a Kiss album.
Yeah.
There's nothing on this that really bugs me.
Yep.
Okay. There's songs that are better than others, but for me, I like it because I'm in the mood to listen to shit. So I'm not going from God of Thunder live on a live 2 to Kiss the Girl Goodbye. So right. To me, it works. I fucking hate the hate that this album gets. I can hold two thoughts in my head. I can love the band Kiss and love stuff that don't very much sound like Kiss. It's okay.
Agreed. I'm with you. I agree. Yep.
So, Tom, we haven't done this in quite some time, but I think what we do next is we rank the songs.
That is correct.
Okay. 10 songs. Do you want to go first or should I?
This is your guy. You go first.
Okay. Number 10. Kiss the 10th song goodbye.
All right. My number 10. Love. Love is so. Number 10.
If you stop like after his love is so.
Because love.
It almost sounds like. She'll be expecting you for love Boom.
Exactly.
Right? I thought you were going.
Yep. Easy Thang. Not to be confused with the Snoop Dogg version. Easy motherfucking Thang.
We're back now at the jack off hour. These easy dick.
Nothing but an easy Thang.
The fat dick that slaps you across your fat ass.
DJ Easy Dick. We're going to have Trotsky on the episode for ARC when we do Doggy Style.
Yeah, Snoop Doggy Dog. Snoop Doggy Dog. Well, number 9 for me, Tom, is Tossin salad and turkey.
Oh, man.
Again, I'm going to reiterate.
Go ahead.
I don't dislike any of these songs.
Right.
So, I'm just not enamored with these.
Right. I got you. Yeah. Number 9 is Kiss My Ass Goodbye.
That's a good song by L.A. Guns. Kiss my love goodbye.
L.A. Guns are not bad. We make fun of a lot of those bands from the 80s, but L.A. Guns are good.
No, L.A. Guns does not fit in the,
No.
I got Warren's 6th album.
Oh, yuck.
No, it doesn't. Number 8, Tom. I've said this several times to you in our lives.
Several. You've said it several.
Put down several. I've got several years of experience. Tom, you matter to me.
Oh, come on. Oh, you're hurting me.
And that's why.
You know what? That's a perfect segue into my number 8, because you know what you just did? I was hoping I was going to have to say, don't you let me down. Oh, but you did. That's my number 8.
All right. Okay. For me, number 7, you've already picked this, and that is Easy Thing for me. I love when it picks up.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Yeah. Number 7 is I Can't Stop the Rain.
No.
Now, I will reiterate what you said. I like this album. I the
way you were gushing over this song, I thought you would have it at the top.
Nope. I will say this: my 1 through 6. This is so weird to think that the Peter Criss solo album is hard to rank.
Because there are a lot of songs that are kind of similar, and you like them.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
Yep.
Number 6 for me. Don't You Let Me Down. Don't you let me down.
Number 6 for me is Hooked on Rock and Roll. I know. I love this song. I think that could easily be number 1. I'm totally serious.
Number 5 for me. I'm Gonna Love You.
Wow. That was my prediction for your number 1. Wow. Number 5 is That's the Kind of Sugar Your Mama Likes.
Mama? Joe Mana here.
Joe Mana.
You motherfucker. All right. We're up to number 4 for me. And I believe I have the same thing. That's the kind of sugar that Papa likes.
So you have that at 4. All right. Yep. My number 4 is Rock Me Amadeus, baby.
Amadeus. That's my number 3.
All right.
All right.
My number 3 is Don't Let Me Find You. Sleeping with Another Man. I'm Gonna Love You, number 3. You know what my number 1 and 2 are, and people are gonna be like, how the fuck is this your 1 and your 2?
Number 2 was Hooked on Rock and Roll.
Yep. Number 2 for me is Tossin Salad. I don't want to be the toss salad man.
The first thing I do is make him toss my salad.
Oh.
Number 1, one of my favorite ballads, one of my favorite Kiss songs. I Can't Stop the Rain.
Wow, that's your number 1?
Yes, Tom.
Wow, that is a surprise. I would have never.
When we started this podcast,
it
would never be number 1 on this album.
Okay.
But over time, us doing like lists and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find brilliance in it.
All right.
And I think it's because Sean Delaney wrote this song.
Yeah.
And he knew what Peter could do.
Yeah.
And he set this thing up for him.
Yeah. My number 1 is the outlier on this album. It's the disco track. It's You Matter to Me. I've always loved this song.
I don't get it. I don't get why you like this so much.
Just because I like the disco pop flavor of it. It sticks out because no other song is. Yeah. You know, it's just, I don't know. It's fun.
Well,
It's fun.
Tom doesn't sound like you're doing any fun over there with the Peter Criss album.
In addition to the number of women in the Niagara Falls area,
number of cars you've smashed in the area, we're going to be ranking our 18th Kiss album.
that's insane.
Okay, Tom. So we're going to list what we've done for album covers. Since we only do this every several months, why don't you tell everybody what your album ranking for the covers are?
Okay, so we've done 17 albums so far.
Correct.
So starting from the bottom, album covers: Animalize, Crazy Nights, Monster, Asylum, Music from the Elder, Revenge, Hot in the Shade, Psycho Circus, Unmasked, Paul Stanley, Kiss, Dress to Kill, Ace Frehley, Gene Simmons, Creatures of the Night, Rock and Roll Over, and Love Gun. All right. Peter Criss. All right. I've said it before. I love the solo albums.
Yep.
And I especially love this one. The green just sticks out for me. I love it. Where does it fall here? Ooh. This is so tough. But is it really that tough? I'm putting it at number 5. It's going right above Ace. It's going right above Ace and right below Gene.
Wow.
Yeah. I just because I love the look on his face, the way he's looking down and his eyes are up. He's got the Love Gun bandolier. The green tint is just fucking awesome. I love it. Love it. Love it. So yeah. So my 4, 5, and 6 are all solo albums. Paul got bounced down a little bit due to Dress to Kill in the debut album, but I got, Gene at 4, Peter at 5, Ace at 6. So
Paul's, who's a fantastic album cover.
Yeah, exactly.
Is number 4 for you out of those.
Which is kind of ridiculous because they're all awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Tom, for me, okay, I'm going from the bottom, album covers, Animalize, we're both the same there, at least.
Yeah.
But then it's a little different. Music from the Elder, Hot in the Shade, Unmasked, Psycho Circus, Revenge, Monster, Crazy Nights, Asylum. Paul Stanley is number 8. Kiss, debut album. Ace Frehley, Creatures of the Night, Dress to Kill, Gene Simmons, and Love Gun, and then Rock and Roll Over. So me and you, I'm noticing Rock and Roll Over and Love Gun, I have it switched with you.
Yep.
All right. So I'm like you. Paul is the least. He's number 4 for me on the solo albums, and I love that album cover.
Yeah, it's hard to rank them. It's weird.
So I've got to go by: is Peter or Ace? Peter is not better than Gene. Okay.
No.
So the thing is,
here's why Peter is better than Ace. I'll tell you why. Because Ace has that face.
But Ace actually looks like he's a handsome man in that photo, and he's not a handsome man.
I'm telling you, the Peter scowl is what tips it off with the green. It's the closest to coming to be. And nothing's going to beat Gene. But if something was, it would be Peter solo.
So here's what I'm thinking. On Ace's side, Ace actually looks normal and looks like a good-looking guy, and it's a fucking cool cover.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he doesn't look like he's looking to the left when everyone's looking to the right.
Right,
it's dead on.
Yep.
But the thing is, there's not many fucking iconic, really that cool photos of Peter.
Right.
And this is great.
Yep.
I love the green on this.
Yeah.
And he's my guy.
Yeah.
So I am putting this just below Creatures of the Night, but ahead of Ace at 6.
Oh, wow. So I have it ranked higher than, okay.
Yeah.
Tom,
right. I have Dress to Kill in my top 5. You have it just underneath as number 7. Yep. I have it number 4. Yep. So that's what the difference is. But other than that, we'd have the same ones in there, really.
So let me ask you this real quick. Why do we both have Paul Latt? We both love Paul. I love purple is my favorite color. Honestly, it's my favorite color. Why? I don't. Is it
because
just because
we're both straight men? I mean, is that politically incorrect?
What the hell does that have any?
like I'm not attracted to him. But if I was a female, I could say, wow, Paul looks great there. Paul's the stud lead singer, the sex symbol. To me, I don't look at them for sex symbols, but somebody else might.
No, maybe you're right. Maybe the Paul cover is a little bit like, ooh, darling, I want to make love.
I think Paul looks great in it.
He does.
But I will say, has anybody ever said, oh, dude, Ace Frehley looks hot?
Plenty of people say it. Let me give you a couple names.
Or even Peter. Like, they're not known
Dude,
for their
Peter
good
is
looks.
not what you would call a handsome man. None of
No,
them
he's
are.
an average. But Peter's not an awkward looking man.
He was never good looking.
Okay, but he's not awkward looking. He's not a strange looking man.
You compare him to the mongoloid man Ace. Can I say that? Can I say that? I don't even know. Didn't somebody write a? Peter thought he was Asian.
No, he thought he was from Mongolia or
yeah,
something.
exactly.
But Gene Simmons is a weird looking man.
Yes,
he's strange looking, like exotic looking, big, like a toxic force field. Like, okay, Paul is a decent looking man,
right?
Okay, in his heyday, not crooked man now. And again, we're two straight guys talking about other people's looks. Who the fuck are we? But
right,
Peter looks like a normal Italian guy walking down the street. Hey, fucko. Yeah. He doesn't look weird. If you saw Peter Criss in the streets, okay, you wouldn't be like, oh, that fucking weirdo.
Probably not.
If you saw Ace stumbling across, you'd be like, what the fuck is this guy?
That guy's a widow.
Yeah, look at him. But I'm telling you, I think I don't know.
Okay. I just think it's interesting how we have the Gene, Peter, and Ace kind of grouped together, and then Paul is just down there. I also think it might be, to me, maybe this is like a subconscious thing, calling Dr. Tom here. Maybe it's just because we see Paul. Paul is such the front man. We're like, we see Paul all the time. He can go down the bottom. Like, we don't see.
Yeah, they're never
iconic
the
images
of attention.
Right. We don't see iconic, like, portraits of Peter and Ace.
They're never the focal point of a photo shoot.
Exactly.
This is just Ace.
Yeah.
This is just Peter.
Right.
Paul is always the focal.
Right. So maybe that's it. Ooh, darling.
Darling, I want to make love to you.
All right. Let's get to the difficult part now.
Let's get to the good stuff. Turn the page, Tom. Let's get to the good stuff. All right. Album rankings. Why don't you read what you have now, Tom?
All right. So these are album rankings.
Right.
Last, number 17, Monster. Music from the Elder. Psycho Circus. Animalize. Gene Simmons. Creatures of the Night. Ace Frehley. Asylum. Crazy Nights. Hot in the Shade. Unmasked. Paul Stanley. Rock and Roll Over. Kiss Debut. Revenge. Dress to Kill. Love Gun. This is very, very, very difficult. I'll tell you why this is difficult. Technically, this is in the Kiss discography, so it's got to be ranked. Mm-hmm. But it's not a fucking Kiss album. This would be like trying to take like a bunch of like Metallica albums and being like, "Hey, rank this Steely Dan album with these Metallica albums." It's like, I can't.
The album review crew. And okay, here we're going to review the four tops.
Exactly. Right. Okay, here's the problem with the Peter Criss album. We just gushed over it for a long time. I like it. There's some songs that I go to. Go to him.
But this is a Kiss album. So even if you had it at number 18, it's still probably better than everything.
Right. And the problem with the Peter album is that it is not a Kiss album when we're ranking Kiss albums.
Right.
Okay. So I like the album, but I just can't go to it that often.
Go to it.
For right now, I'll put it to you this way. Right now, it is battling with Music from the Elder.
Yikes.
Okay. And I'll tell you why. Psycho Circus, there's some songs on that I really enjoy, that I go to. Rocking, good songs. There's an Ace song, whatever. Music from the Elder, it still has The Oath. It still has it has Mr. Blackwell. It has Dark Light. I like World Without Heroes. You hate it. Peter's solo album doesn't have any of that. It has songs I enjoy, but it doesn't have any of that. So as much as I like the album, it pains me to say that I have to put it below Music from the Elder.
Okay.
It's going to be second to last. Monster's still at the bottom.
I hear you, buddy.
You know, and it's hard because I truly enjoy the album.
For all the talk of you enjoying the album, though, that's just about where most Kiss fans would actually probably have it.
I agree.
Right?
I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
All right. So for me, all the way from the bottom, I went Monster, Unmasked, Gene Simmons, Psycho Circus, Animalized, Asylum, Ace Frehley, Music from the Elder. Yep, that's right. I have Ace below that. Hot in the Shade, Crazy Nights, Dressed to Kill, Paul Stanley, Love Gun, Revenge, Kiss Debut, Creatures of the Night, Rock and Roll Over. Where the fuck am I putting this Peter Criss album?
I'm not kidding. I've never lamented over a fucking album the way I have with this one.
Yeah. So I've got to I know I changed the way I philosophically put these albums. Do I have a song that I don't like on this album that I can't stand that I have to change? Do I have something that's one of my favorites? So I move it up. Does it get more bonus points, or do I get more bonus points for steady awesomeness?
Right.
If I for instance, Rock and Roll Over is my number one album on this so far. Okay.
Yep.
See You in My Dreams would probably be my least favorite song if it was on the Peter Criss album.
Okay.
So no, I'm not being stupid. I'm not putting this at number one. I'm just saying
No,
those are things to kind of take into account.
Yep.
Even Revenge. Tough Love is fucking brutal. Love Gun that you got, Then She Kissed Me, which actually isn't that bad of a song, but
it's actually not. But that's
all right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be bold here. Again, I can put this album on and leave it on.
Yeah.
Okay. I love all these albums. I like Monster. Okay. I like this album better than Ace. So with that being said, I got to put it above Ace. Do I like it better than The Elder? I do. Do I like it better than Hot in the Shade?
You don't. Don't hurt me that badly. You do not like this better than You Love Me to Hate You, Silver Spoon, King of Hearts, Forever, Rise to It, Hide Your. You don't.
You know those three songs you just said, the trifecta that we love from Hot in the Shade?
Yep.
I like.
No, you don't.
I Can't Stop the Rain.
Oh, God.
That's the Kind of Sugar, and Hooked on Rock and Roll better than those three. I would listen to those three first.
All right.
So I'm going to be getting hate mail for the rest of this podcast.
I have breaking news. We're not making it through another 200 episodes.
I'm never going to hear the end of this. I'm putting Peter's album number 9.
Oh my God Almighty!
Above Hot in the Shade, below Crazy Nights.
Oh my God Almighty! I knew you liked this album, but I didn't know you had brain damage from it.
Love Peter. Love his album.
I'll tell you right now. The bigger, hotter take right there is that you have Ace Frehley ranked below Peter. Look, it's a good album. It's an enjoyable, fun album. It doesn't suck. For me, I don't like Monster. There's 2 or 3 songs that I find fun on that album. That is not an album I would ever put on. I would, in the same, and that's why I struggle with Peter in The Elder. The Elder has some real skippable stuff, but the highs on The Elder are higher than the highs on Peter. It's just tough. It's tough to rank, but hey, good for you. You do you. Good for you.
Yeah, Tom, I look at it when you go Hot in the Shade. So I can tell you right at the bat, I don't like Betrayed at all. Prisoner of Love, I don't like. I love Forever, Silver Spoon, Cadillac Dreams, King of Hearts, Street Giveth, You Love Me to Hate Me, somewhere between it. But even Little Caesar, but Boomerang, Betrayed, Read My Prisoner.
But you're also
Love.
comparing an album that has 15 songs with an album that has 10. That's not fair.
So what do I want to hear? If I'm going to take an album with it, I'd rather hear these songs. That's me. I know.
Okay.
It's fucked up.
That's why we do the show.
That's right, my friend.
Yep.
Well, Tom, what we do next is we go to questions. You got one?
We do, and I love these when I can bank these questions for an episode. I love questions that we get, and I hold on to them because I'm I know we're going to do an episode where I can throw this in here. So nice. we got a question here. This is from Christopher from Facebook, not Christopher the Wallet, another Christopher, and he wants to know if Kiss did the solo albums again, right now, whose do you think would be better, Eric Singer's or Tommy Thayer's?
Tommy Thayer.
Okay. Why? Just quickly.
Because they each have 2 songs in the catalog, and I like Tommy's better than Eric's.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tommy, I like Tommy's voice. I think you're right. I think Tommy's 2 songs, I think Out of This World and When Lightning Strikes, are tremendously underrated. I think both of Eric's songs are horrendous. I've said that before. I think they're bad. Yeah, I think that would be interesting. I think it's a good question just because I love these like what ifs, because it's never going to happen. Obviously, they're never going to do solo albums again. I think Tommy would put together a really good kick-ass album. I think it would be good. I mean, Eric's got some talent. That boy's got talent. Eric would do a good album. I don't know if I could listen to 10, 12 songs of Eric's voice. I'm not a big fan.
But Tommy's also contributed to other Kiss albums and songs.
Yes.
He knows the Kiss sound.
Yeah, but I think he's got a really underrated voice. Like I think
he's decent. I think he can come up with
Yeah.
a good, decent riff and
Yep.
make it work. He knows
Yep.
what Kiss fans like.
Yes, agreed. Yep. Great question. I've been sitting on that one for a while, Christopher. Thank you for contributing. Appreciate it very much.
Tom, where can people find us?
Always go to our website, shoutitoutloudcast.com, shoutitoutloudcast.com. That's where all of our episodes are. You can find our Shout It Out Loudcast episodes, our ARC episodes, Dorm Damage, and Zeppelin Chronicles episodes. They're all there, all of our rankings. And you can comment directly from the website, too. You comment directly on the website. We receive the comment through our email. But on the website, it's all there. You can join our Patreon through the website. There's a link there. You can shop on our Amazon link. You can buy our Shout It Out Loudcast merch. Everything is right there. You can join our social media. Everything, check that out. And, of course, our email, shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. Please email us. We read every email. We may not get to all of them during the show because we get a lot, which is a great problem to have, but we do read all of them. And, of course, our social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of them. We're everywhere. Please check us out, follow us, tag us, comment, all that good stuff. And, of course, we mentioned earlier our amazing and wonderful Patreon family. Special shout out this week to Pat, Steve, and Anthony for joining the family. You guys are the best, as are everybody else in the Patreon family. We love you guys. Patreon.com or download the app. And we're always proud to say that we're part of the Pantheon Podcast Network of shows. Tons of great music podcasts, all different genres, and we're part of that family. So check them out, pantheonpodcast.com.
You can DM us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We try to read as many of them as we can. We do our best, but keep them coming. We love seeing them. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That, I believe, we're closing in now on the 900 mark. We'd like to get to 1,000 and then F it. Who gives a shit? Please then also give us one of those 5-star child reviews. Now, we do have a new review that we want to read.
All right.
Yep. And this one says it's a 5-star child review on Apple Podcasts.
Okay.
Okay. And it says, my favorite podcast, 5 stars. I discovered Shout It Out Loudcast a few months ago via an Eddie Trunk interview.
All right.
After one episode, I was immediately hooked. T&Z are hilarious. Also honest and informative with valid criticisms of the band and stupid, funny impersonations. Hey, they are best buds. Not really. We hate each other.
Not really. This is a business proposition.
Yeah, exactly. It's like fucking Sonny and Cher in the last few years. And their rapport and camaraderie make the show a very enjoyable and entertaining listening. They've also made a bigger Kiss fan than I was ever before. Dude, I love hearing that.
Me
That's
too.
awesome.
Me too. That's awesome. Yes.
Most podcasts are boring, endless ramblings, and self-absorbed. These guys are anything but. They follow a format, usually stick to the program, and if they don't, it's always something hilarious. Definitely my favorite podcast, music or otherwise. Keep up the good work, fellas. thanks for the laugh, Rudy Doth.
Oh, Rudy, you are the man. Oh, thank you so much. What an incredible review. Thank you for the kind words and for taking the time to type that and put that and send that to us. Truly appreciate it, Rudy. We know you're part of the Shout Out Loudcast family, and we truly appreciate that.
And he signed it Rudy, not Sarzo.
Ooh, okay.
So, Rudy, thank you again. You're an awesome Patreon listener and follower.
That's right.
So, thank you very much for all that. And please, those reviews help us a lot. And Tom, what we do next is we go to famous last words. You got something off this album?
Of course I do.
Well, of course I do.
Of course I do.
And you know what it's like to be hurt.
Right. I ain't no good at talking. So, girl, I'm telling you straight. My heart feels just like an orphan. I hope I'm not too late. 'Cause you're mad at me. And that's why.
That's why.
You know, I want to see if our buddy Daryl Alber can put together one of those roller skating videos for us with You Matter to Me. He's done it before. He did it with Disco Strutter 78.
'Cause you matter to me.
He can pull it off.
All right, Tom. I can't stop the rain. Here it comes again. Lightning strikes across the sky. Oh, I can't stop the rain. Here it comes again. Lightning only blinds my eyes.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Oh,
They sound like Aussie lyrics.
one of my favorite Kiss songs of all time. Yeah, I said it.
Good for you. Well, brace yourself for the onslaught of hatred when this episode drops.
No, I know. I'm going to fucking get destroyed. I don't give a
That's
shit.
okay. Fuck them.
Yeah, exactly. So, Peter Criss, Tom, Loudcasters, Kiss Army, everybody, thank you.
Guys, you're the best. Thank you so much for everything, for listening and making our show as awesome as it is. And this is all to you. You guys are the best. Best fans, listeners, followers, supporters is what we could ask for. Thank you. And Zeus, as always, my friend, thank you.
Peace out, Girl Scout.
I think in Peter's case, it had to do with his upbringing and the fact that he wasn't very bright.